and a little bit of like majorly AI. Okay, so okay, so beginning a session. Now we're gonna be building our first AI integrated project, right? So step in the future of web development. Learn how to integrate AI into your web apps using the Gemini API key. Okay, so yeah. So before we start, okay, here's some information that we're aware of. One, this is going to be a hands-on learning, no? So expect live coding, no? Expect pod nga there's gonna be it's gonna be a quick pace, no? Kaya since 1 hour is not exactly a lot, especially for a topic like this. So if you do want to follow along, no, prepare your IDEs, prepare your text editors, prepare your terminal, etc. Pero following along is not going to be required. No, what's important here is that ma-convey na mo or like let you understand that AI can be easily integrated to any website, no, as fast as possible. So like for this case, it's going to take lang at least like less than an hour. So yeah. Okay, so for this segment, it's going to be like morning breakdowns of segments or like for this segment. So first we have the introduction, which is this, right? So morning introduction. Next, kay building the UI. So since this is a web development project, that means mag-create sa website beforehand, like before we can actually integrate AI to it. So that's going to be tackled first. Then lastly, we're going to be tackling how we can integrate AI into our own project. Diba? Yeah, so that's basically our goal here. Okay, so before we proceed, let's talk about the prerequisites. Okay, so one, you're somewhat like comfortable with HTML, CSS, JS, like not to an extent now you can like you're actually considered as like like a master and in web text, pero like you're comfortable, like you know what things like how things work in seconding like in these three. So like you know what elements are, how to style, how to center a div. No, that's very important. Then sa JavaScript pod, like the basic syntax of it para you can go along with this session. Kay we did design this to be as beginner friendly, no? Kay of course not everyone here is like an expert in what we're going to be talking about. So yeah, we're going to be working with vanilla web technologies para it's easier to understand, easier to comprehend to for us. Okay, so next, kay knowledge as to how AI works. Of course, like dili tong like mga mathematical stuff like as to how AI works. Essentially, it's just like so let's go with Gemini. Let's say like that response. Then na I don't know nag-request then boom na I respond. So it's basically just like that, no? An input and an output. That's all we need to know, no? And with this we can we can do a lot of things, a lot of great things. Next, kay fundamentals of external APIs. Okay, so since we're gonna be using and utilizing the Gemini API key, so dapat aware ta as to how HTTP works, no? Like just the fundamentals of HTTP methods, right? Like compose, get, etc. And yeah, as well as payload. More into that later on. Okay, sige. Okay, so this is going to be the project na we're going to be working on. It's going to be an object analyzer. No, it's not the greatest name, I must admit, pero it essentially like very straightforward title. So essentially, we're gonna be having a live camera feed. Then there's gonna be a button you click. Then once you click that button, AI will analyze whatever is on the image, right? So yeah, object analyzer. This is a very simple, straightforward project na that is very efficient sa what we're gonna be doing. Like it can teach us how, like allow us to understand as to how integrating AI on a particular website will work. Okay? Sige. All right, the next. Ooh, okay. Okay, so this guy is the web developer, web development officer, web dev officer. So, um, for real. Okay. So siya ang he's gonna be one nga mag-tackle sa first part of this segment katong building the website kay he's actually very good at that, diba? So yeah. Next segment after iyang part is going to be mine. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to integrate AI, no? Like from reading the documentation then to actually implementing it. Okay, sige. Next, Kai. Okay, sige here. Okay, so if you're interested lang sa AI integration part, kay mama na ang what do you call this? Ang what this session was advertised as. Okay. So if interested lang mo on how AI integration works, please do keep in mind sa timestamp, no, 9:30 p.m. It will, like most likely start at a time. Then building the UI will start like right now, like immediately right now. Sige. Mr. Web Dev Officer, sir, please do take over.
Hello, can I be heard?
Yes po.
Okay, I will start sharing my screen right now. So, okay.
Yeah. As he's doing that, no, if you ever got questions, guys, please do ask them lang. We'll try our best to entertain them as soon as possible. There's not really a lot of us here na accommodate with all of you. So yeah.
So, okay. So, can you see my screen now?
Yes po.
Okay. So, hello, good evening, everyone. So, yeah. So, like Gian said, we're gonna be creating our web app, which is a frame analyzer. So, if you wanna code along, I'll give you some time, but essentially you need these three files rather. So first is the index.html. The HTML is essentially, that, the style.css for styling, and script.js, which is very important. But you can also name them to however you want. Doesn't matter. The naming doesn't matter, as long as the as long as you remember that name so that you can connect them properly. But so yeah, I'll give you guys some time, I think, to create these files if you wanna code along. Like I said, it's straightforward. But just put a .html, .css, and .js. Okay. So, so while you guys are creating that, I think I'll just go ahead and slowly start. So, so yeah, I think most of you guys, I'm assuming, already knows how these three works. So I'm not gonna go in depth with them. Also, if if you guys want to have like a good what you call it, quality of life when coding websites, download the live server extension from VS Code, and then just right click on your .html file and open with live server, and it will open a live server in your website, in which it will automatically update whenever you save it here. So you don't have to keep reloading on your website. But okay, so let's start with coding this website. So first is we have to have our basic HTML canvas. So we can use an Emmet abbreviation with this. Just put in exclamation mark and then press this one to create this format. It's a predefined format for HTML. So first thing we do is we will link the CSS file into our HTML. So link relationship, or rel for short, style sheet href equals style.css, or whatever the name of your CSS file is. For JavaScript, it's usually good practice to put it at the very last so that your HTML files will load before your JavaScript. So we do script src equals script.js. Can remove it. But yeah. So now essentially these are now these two files are now connected to our HTML files. So now we can start. So let's first start off with the elements that we need in our HTML canvas. So Gian gave me a template, or not really a template, but like a what you call it, the design of the website. So if you guys want to follow along, just follow along. But if you want to do it your own way, then feel free to do so. But I'll do this on how we planned it. So if you want to follow this, then do it. So first we'll create a div here, which will contain all the other elements in the div. So first we'll have an h1 that, let's call it the object. Let's put it in object analyzer. So essentially that will be the title of the current div, and then the. So for this one, I think we'll just put some disclaimer like allow webcam access to begin. So this one. And then these two, the next two are actually like next few elements are the most important ones that you need to have for this project. So first is the video tag. The video tag. So the video tag essentially is like allows your HTML or your website to stream your video, but it won't. But for now, it won't be streaming just yet because spoiler alert, it will need some JavaScript, and but we'll get to that later. So we have a video, then I'd want to put an ID here, and let's put webcam. And then these two next properties are very needed. So we put here. So yeah. So this div here, and then you can put an HT tag here that says analysis report result rather. Let's put result. So essentially, back again, these two, the video and the button, are the only ones that you really need. These other ones are kind of like optional, but well, except for this one. But if you, but these two are really the ones that you need. But if you want them, then you can add these. And then we have a free tag here with an ID of result. And then we can put something like a waiting for analysis here, which essentially is the preload of it, something like that. So yeah, that's about it for our HTML canvas. There, like I said, there really isn't much. All the stuff that you really need is in the JavaScript and in the CSS, which we will now proceed into. So now this part here is where it's really optional to how you want it, because uh you can literally just style it to however you want. But so it's up to you, your imagination and stuff like that. But if you want to follow along with ours, then feel free to do that. So first is body here. So body means just like um the entire canvas of our HTML. So start off with a font family here. So with yours, you can use whatever you want, but I'll just use to what Ian had. So system font. Yeah, is there a question? Oh.
Nag-ask, Justin.
Oh, okay, sorry. Here. Oh, I'll make it. Okay.
You can paste that sa comment if if pwede.
Okay. Okay, there we go. So that's the HTML file if you guys want to. Okay. So, um, so okay. So this will be my fun family. Again, you guys are free to do whatever you want. Uh, to choose rather whatever fun family you want. It doesn't really matter. So and then we have background color. So the color scheming I decided for this app will be based around ChatGPT. ChatGPT's color scheme, but like I said, you guys can feel free to choose whatever color scheme you want. So I have it here. Right? So that will turn the entire background here into this grayish gray. Then put it into flex. Um, then justify the content to center the div. Right there, right there. And yeah, essentially these three lines. Uh, if you guys want to learn more about them, feel free to research. But the point of this tutorial really is just mostly on data integration, the more interesting stuff. So yeah, but essentially this just allows it so that the div inside the main div will be centered. And then min height is 100 VH. 100 VH means 100 view height. So again, you can research that if you want, but view height essentially is just uh, the height from the top to bottom of your canvas. Then put up here margin, just to remove the margins all around here. So yeah, we're done with that. And now let's move on to the container. I believe I have either that plus container. I forgot to put the task. Right, my bad. So yeah, task container. So okay. So again, to access to call it, to access a class dot and then the class name container. So that's why we're doing it. So yeah, let's move on. So background color. Uh, feel free to choose again whatever you want. So go with or one. So, so padding. I'm gonna put theorem of padding here so that we'll have more space in between. Just want that. Then border radius. Then pixels. So the border radius allows it so that the corners will be curved a little so that it won't look as dirty. Then well, oh, then text align center. So align all the text here. There you go. Now it's align. Max width. There's 100 pixels. There you go. Just so it has a width on its own. Then width is 90. There you go. So now it will almost cover up the entire thing. But that's what we want, guys. Then color, which will be the font color of the anything inside this container to white. So now this will be white. Okay. So it's not that good yet, but you know, we're still not we're still halfway there. So yeah. Then next one is I want to have this be the very go up more. So we can go H1 here, margin top 0. So now it'll be more upward. Now it doesn't really do much, but yeah, just but yeah, margin top allows you to change the difference from here to here. So yeah. Now let's move on to the video um video canvas or element rather. So we can just do video here. Then with let's set the width to 100%. Then set the max width to 500 pixels. Okay. Height, let's set it to auto because so set it to auto because it will adjust itself anyways. For the radius, let's put 8 pixels. Then background color, I want to put this one. So as you can see, this is our video canvas. Then transform L X minus one. It will just move up a bit. Oh, move. Yeah. Then lastly, I want to put a border around it. So let's do border, 2 pixels, then solid, then whatever color. Let's say let's say white, just something like that. So yeah, so that's the video canvas done. So, but yeah, like I said, there really isn't much with the video for now because we still need the JavaScript for it. But yeah, it serves as a canvas for in case your webcam isn't still on it. Then so let's move on to the button. So I can just do a button because this is the only button anyway. Okay, so let's put this in block displaying. So it will be up there. Then let's put width of 100%. So it will span across from here to here because that's the width of our that's the width and the padding of our main element. Then padding, put 1 rem of padding here, that there's some space there. Font size, 1 rem. The font size changes the font size of the word capture and analyze eventually. Then, oh, if you're curious, about how the button works, is this one acts like a text element, like an H1, H2, and H3, while everything around it can act like a div or something like that. So if you're curious on how it works, then I think that will be like a better way for you to understand it. And then okay, font size, and then font weight. I want to bolden these letters, these words rather. So let's do bold here. So then font, and then color. Let's do black. But this will be black. It's black anyways, but then background color white, even though it's white, let's just put that there. Okay. So now let's remove the border. There we go. Border's done. And then let's change the border radius to 8 pixels. That will have those circles. Then you can put cursor pointer so that whenever we hover it around, it will change our cursor from this normal cursor to a pointer, which is typically used in buttons. Then margin top. Let's put 1 rem here so that we'll have 1 rem of space from here to from the canvas. It makes it more clean. And then I wanna have a transition here so that because I want this to be somewhat active in a way. So let's put here transition. So transition here, and then we put 0.2 seconds. So the 0.2 seconds essentially means it takes 0.2 seconds to transition from its current state up to the state that we want to get. And then ease in, out, essentially just make it smooth. Okay. Now, we have, so we want the button to not be clickable when the AI is doing all its stuff. So I will add a button disabled here. So this the colon essentially means like if disabled, then have these properties. Even though disabled is still not it's still not it's not fun. It's not what you call it called here or I forget the term. But yeah, it's not here, but you know it is here. But so if button is disabled, then I want it to have a background color uh, there, and then cursor not allowed. So cursor not allowed essentially just blocks the user from interacting with this button specifically. So yeah, and then button hover. The hover is for whenever we hover through this specific element, and then we put not disable. So what this essentially means is if we hover on the button and the button is not disabled, then we want to do it. We want to do this essentially. So let's put here transform, okay, then translate y, and let's put -3 pixels. So whenever we hover in this button, it will go up by 3 pixels. It's not much, but in terms of subtle UI user experience, it creates something. You know, it creates an interactivity between the user and the element in the website. But in this case, this button. Okay, so now let's style the results box. So we have the results box here with the class results box. So again, to access it, dot results box here. So now, okay. So now we can change the elements in this box. So let's put text align. Yeah. So the text on this results box will be there. It's not seen now, but it will be seen. So margin top. So that we can put a space between this, the button and this. So let's do 1.5 rem. Did I misspell it? Oh, I misspelled it. Okay. There you go. Then background color. So I want to put 282828 this one, and then I want to put a border here, 1 pixel solid, 4646, and then border radius of 8 pixels. So that yeah, again to curve the edges, then padding of 1 rem. So that there's some space between this and this. Okay, now that looks so much better now, but we're still not done. So let's put something that I want to put something that will differentiate this from this essentially. Though it's already differentiated, but we want to make it cool. That's the point. That's the thing we're doing here. So H3. Okay. So H3 essentially is just to access this one since this is the only H3 element in the entire canvas anyways. So first we'll do margin top 0, so that it will be up there more. Then we can do border bottom 1 pixel solid white. So the border bottom essentially means since this H3 element spans from here to here, then border bottom will make a border only at the bottom. So, and it's from here to here. Then padding dash bottom 0.5 rem. 5 rem. So to create a space from this one to the border. And yeah, that looks so much better now. That looks cleaner. So last element that we want to manipulate with CSS is this one, the free element. So again, this is the only free element, so I can do just free, then white. So white space, free wrap. So what this property essentially does is it will preserve the white spaces and the line breaks that will be outputted in this specific element. So all the white spaces and the line breaks that will be like outputted here will be preserved, so they won't break. So like for example, like if you do hello dot world, then um it won't go back to here. Instead, it will preserve the three spaces, something like that. And then word wrap break break break, break, break. So this property will force a line break whenever it will be like in the border, or yeah, if it will reach like how do you, it's not the end of the element, then yeah, it'll be, you know, it'll line break, it'll force the line break. Then let's do a different font family here for your new. Is there a question? The end.
Hi, Justin. Okay. If you can check lang messenger like off
Yeah,
camera, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah, don't worry, I checked it. Okay. Okay.
Sige, thank you so much.
Then courier. On a space. Then again, you can choose a different font family here. Font size 0.9 rem, just to change the font size. And then color, we'll just make it white. Then there you go. So there goes our CSS style. It may not look much, but it's so much better than before. So now let's move on to the JavaScript. That is the most important part of this entire project. So, okay. First, we want to do is to capture what we need. So, or what we want to manipulate. So, we want to capture the video, right? So, we want to capture the video. We want to change this to the analysis that we have. And then we want to capture when we click this button. So, that's what we'll do first. So, constant video. Let's document get element by ID. Web. Now, why webcam is because our video tag has the ID of webcam, and we want to capture this. That's why we put it there. Then constant capture button called document that get element. Yes, there are question. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, there you go. Okay. Get element by ID and can do capture and we do capture button because again that is the ID of our capture button or our button. And then lastly is that the text result here. So we do constant results element equals document that get element by ID result. Is it result? Just result. Okay, there you go. So now we have all these three. So now we can proceed to creating our stuff. So first is we want to start the webcam, right? So let's do a sync function start webcam. So this function, this asynchronous function will essentially start the webcam. So can do so for better like capturing of the error, we will do a try catch. I always called that. Yeah, we'll use a try catch. So try constant stream equals await. So await will essentially just trigger whenever it is all ready. So navigator dot media devices dot get user media then so this is a function, and within this function we will pass in two arguments enclosed in curly braces. So here we will do video, uh, then in curly braces we will do width, and let's set the width to 640, then the height to 480. Feel free to choose whatever you want, but or depending on how you made it, you can search about it. But yeah, this is what we're gonna do for now. And then audio, we don't really need audio, so put that at false. Then so now we can do video dot source object or src src object equals stream. So now the video here, so the video element which is this one will now get this stream, which is essentially just this one. Then we're gonna do a catch here, error. So in case this will occur if there's an error in it, and then this will contain the message, the error message. So for debugging, it's the console.error error accessing webcam. Then let's put in error. Then I want to put the error also here, so we can also do that by accessing this one. So result element that text content equals error could not access webcam. Please allow permission and refresh. So yeah, so I'm not gonna start it yet. We're gonna go through every function that and that's what I'll do. So next function that we do is for capturing for capturing the frame. So we can call this function capture frame. So what this function will essentially do is it will create a image or a canvas that will be sent to the so constant canvas equals document that creates element, and this element will be a canvas. So yeah, this will create a canvas element for once you click this, then let's set canvas that width equals, since we already have a width for the video here, we can just use that. So video width, then canvas height for video video. So now we set the height and width of the canvas. Now to contact text, so canvas that get contact. A context is essentially if it's a 2D object that we're passing. So, okay, 2D. Here, there you go. Context that text that translate canvas that with 0. Okay. So what essentially this does is it will flip the output of the canvas so that it will make it look like a mirror. So it will have a mirror effect on the output. Then contact scale, one. Okay. So then yeah, these two will essentially flip the entire canvas to have a mirror effect. Then okay, context, let's draw image. Okay. So we'll pass on. So for this draw image, we will pass on our video. Okay. Zero, canvas width. 0, 0 essentially means it will start at 0, 0. Canvas width and canvas height, so that it will have the height and width that we want. Then in return, new prompt. Now, why return a promise? Essentially, promise means that it will be returned once everything is ready. It won't return when it's still processing it. So it will only return once it is done. Then promise and then resolve. And have an arrow function to return. Then canvas that's to blob. Resolve. Image slash JPEG, which is what we want the file format to be, and then 0.9 as the character. Alright. So to blob essentially is a computer's way of reading images. You don't need to really know it about that much for now, but blob is essentially the way computer reads images. So next one is to handle the capture. So first I'll do an asynchronous function here, handle capture. So why again asynchronous? So that it will only occur when everything is ready. So first is capture button dot disabled equal true. So since this is since this function will occur when we press this button, we don't want them to press the button again. It will just make things messy. So we want to disable the button temporarily. So we do this, and then for good quality of life, or not really quality of life, but for good UI design, we'll change the text context to the capture button here. Button. This one. Capture button. content because let's put something like analyzing here, and then result element that text content for capturing frame. So yeah, it will change the context here and here to these two, to these two. So now the logic behind it. So do try again for a good error handling. Once image block equals await capture frame. So this will essentially this image bubble fetch whatever is in here since this is a blob. So that's why we're also like capturing it as an, or actually this is just naming convention image blob. But yeah, we're capturing whatever is present here, and then result, and then text. So okay, so again, just for good UI design here, and then font analysis object equals await. Uh, this will be introduced by Gian later, but I will just make the function right now. So let's do call Gemini API. Again, this function will be introduced way later. Then result that text content equals JSON that stringify. So since the in the actual thing, this will be a JSON file that will pass from here. We want to stringify it so that it will be more readable. So in stringify, we will pass on 3. So the analysis object, we're going to pass on null and 2. So we're going to pass on the object that we want to stringify, what to replace, and then the somewhat like the space or the indentation between. So yeah. So now we can do a catch error, catch here. So the console that error, then error, then we do the error here. Then result that element, we can also change it to have the error here. Or we do backticks here, error, $, curly braces, error, that's there you go. And then we put a final here, which will execute regardless if it's catch or try. So we do capture button that is stable to false. So we will activate the capture button again, and we'll put here capture and analyze, just to make it look like it returns state. Okay, so to test it, I will create. Okay, I'll try to create the current Gemini API for now. So it's a function. But you don't have to follow this part. This is just to showcase. Okay. So I have a I have a JSON or an object here, and then it will return that. This will be fetched, and then it will be displayed here. So let's do some stuff. So start the webcam and call the function here so that it will start it. Then in the capture to capture button that add event. So what we'll do here is we're gonna wait for it to click, essentially. So we'll put it click, and then what will we do if we'll click? Then we'll call in the handle capture process. And there you go. That's essentially um what we need for the current. Oh, I misspelled. There you go. So now it's asking if I want to use my web internet. I press allow, and it will stream the current video. Okay. So one last thing, before I will also introduce how you can upload this to your GitHub. So, okay, you open your GitHub here, and then you click on this new. So it will create a new repository. Then it's a recorded object analyzer. Then AI web is AI. So here you can choose whether you want it to be public or private. Let's just do this is the public. Then for now, let's turn off the readme, no get ignore, and no listen. You can ignore all these first, then create a public. So it will take you here. It may seem much, but yeah, don't worry about it. What you essentially need are these anyway, or this one. But yeah, so you want to go here. You click on copy. So you copy your link here. So this is the link of your GitHub repository. You go back to your project. So if you already see this, then it doesn't matter if since you're already in that what you call you're already in that directory. But if you're not, then you can do cd and then your directory name. But yeah. So first is we do git init or initialize. So it will initialize this. You can see that view there. And then git remote, add origin, and then you paste your GitHub link there. And then git add dot, essentially means git add all. So now we have a here, which will have that. Then git commit minus m, then your git commit message here, let's say first commit. There you go. So it should be committed now. So then git branch minus capital M main to go to the main. And then git push minus u origin main, which will put all the files into that. So if you refresh this, then there you go. So I think that's it for my part. Ian will now take over. It took way too long, but yeah. Hello, Ian. Hey there.
Ooh, okay. I'm here. Sige, sige. So that's good. Okay, so yung mga okay, so wait lang. Okay, lovely, nice. Sige, stop sharing na Dustin. I'll take over. Okay. Okay, so I believe that can be seen. Okay, so this next part, no, this is gonna be we're talking about the AI integration part. So like money majorly, we're gonna be talking about. Okay, so do notice, no, na we're a bit, like low on time na. So I do suggest, no, na dili lang sa mo mag-code along. Just kanang understand lang what I'm doing. Of course, I'm gonna be explaining along the way. No, what's important here is that you can understand or like comprehend the concept of AI integration. See, that's good. Okay, I believe so. Okay, so here's a disclaimer, no. So this one, no, is not production ready. Ang ato ang i, i code, right? Because one, oh, okay. Hello.
Ew. Hello.
Hello. Okay.
Hi,
What's up?
Gian. Can I just say something real quick? Okay. Hi, everyone. So, I just got back from meeting up with my family and from the toilet. And I was just informed that while I was gone, some bad actors have raided the Google Meet and shown some pretty bad stuff. And I have messages about what got shown. So, I'd like to apologize to everyone in this call and in behalf of GDG for letting this happen. No, we've updated the perms, we shut down the FB Live, and we're probably deleted. It's already probably deleted. Um, you guys also have access to the slides and the recordings afterwards since you have a backup copy, right? And not gonna lie, it was a bad call on my part to make this meet available to everyone. Not gonna lie, and it's very disappointing and it's such a shame that people go out of their way to do this on a donation live stream of all places now. Crazy world we live in. It's bad enough that we have to deal with the earthquake and the typhoons already. How much more these types of people? No? Granted, we'll do our best to definitely learn from this mistake. I mean, it's our very first live stream. This is all cobbled together very all of a sudden. No? So for the people in this call, I'd like to say sorry. And for the people who still chose to stay for Gian's segment and for Nick's segment, I'd like to say thank you. Gonna, for transparency purposes, I'm probably gonna inform a bunch of other people about this as well. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Gian, you may continue. Sure.
Okay, sige, sige. Thank you for that, John. Okay, so here's change of plans lang, no? So since we're very much running low on time naman, then you're probably gonna miss na the next segment, which is the katong part ni Nick, right? So here's what we're gonna do na lang, no? We're gonna have a separate Gmeet na lang to cover the AI integration part. Kaya this stuff, no, na I'm gonna be tackling is not gonna be easy to do in a very short amount of time, right? So yeah, so okay na ba muna guys, have a separate na lang ang Gmeet for this kaning AI integration part. Okay, so to those who are interested in AI integration, join mo ani na link. Pero if you're more interested sa part ni Nick, then please stay still right here. Actually, Nick, this is macOS. This is macOS Rise. Sige. So Dustin, please do send the Gmeet link na dito. Cause yeah.